At this time, I'd like to call the Crystal
Recording
Council
in
meeting.
progress.
Okay. This time, I'd like to call the Crystal Council meeting to order. Let's start with roll call.
Councilmember Kaiser.
Here.
Councilmember Onessa-Rosen.
Here.
Mayor Adams.
Here.
Councilmember Budaszewski.
Here.
Councilmember Cummings.
Here.
Councilmember Idebo,
Here.
present via Zoom, and Councilmember Kamish.
Here.
We have a quorum.
All right. Thank you. Let's rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. We had a request for a moment of silence. We'd like to do that at this time. It's for the 2 police officers and the firefighter who were slain in Burnsville. So at this time, please take a moment to say a quick prayer or reflect on that. Okay, thank you for that. Next, we have an agenda before us, and I'm looking for a motion on that agenda. Go ahead, Tracy.
I will make a motion to approve the agenda.
Looking for a second. Therese?
I'll second that.
All right, all members, roll call.
Councilmember Kamish.
It's because of the remote.
Aye.
Councilmember Kaiser.
Aye.
Councilmember Onessa-Rosen.
Aye.
Mayor Adams.
Aye.
Councilmember Budaszewski.
Aye.
Councilmember Cummings.
Aye.
Councilmember Idebo.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right, thank you. Motion passes. Next, we have a proclamation for today. I'll read that into the record at this time. It's a proclamation for Women's History Month for March 2024, whereas the City of Crystal is committed to recognizing and honoring all members of our community. And one of the city's priorities in Crystal is to be a city in which all feel welcome. And whereas the City of Crystal benefits from having strong women leaders serve our community at all levels, including volunteers, staff, commissions, board, and the council. And whereas when women succeed, their community prospers. Now therefore, I, Jim Adams, Mayor of Crystal, do hereby proclaim March 2024 as Women's History Month in the City of Crystal, and call upon the residents to acknowledge and honor the contributions and accomplishments made by accomplishments of women. Dated this 20th day of February 2024. We have a consent agenda before us. I'll read that into the record at this time as well. The council considered the following items, which are routine and non-controversial in nature, in one single motion. First is the approval of the minutes from the following meetings. City Council work session from February 6th, council meeting from that same date, special work session on that same date, and a City Council meeting work session on February 8th. And then the approval of the list of license applications submitted by the city clerk to the City Council. That list is on file in the office of the city clerk. And then an adoption of a resolution accepting donations, acceptance of a biannual body camera audit notification, approval of appointment for J.D. Moore II to the Parks and Recs Commission for a term to expire December 31st, 2024. Another appointment for Angela Spores for the Parks and Rec Commission term expires that same date. Looking for a motion on this one. Therese?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Thank you. Looking for a second. David?
I will second that.
All right, we'll do roll call again.
Councilmember Kaiser.
Aye.
Councilmember Onessa-Rosen.
Aye.
Mayor Adams.
Aye.
Councilmember Budaszewski.
Aye.
Councilmember Cummings.
Aye.
Councilmember Idebo.
Aye.
Councilmember Kamish.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right, next is open forum. Do we have anyone here wishing to speak during open forum? Seeing no one approach, we will skip by open forum. Just a reminder to the public that you can come and speak to the council. We give 3 minutes for each person, 10 minutes per topic, and you can address the council at any time in public. Next, we have distributions of $25,000 or greater. Again, I'll read those into the record at this time. Health Partners for February health insurance premiums, $141,817. Flagship Recreation LLC for Broadway Park Play Area Installation. This is payment number 2 for $30,401. Mehran Properties LLC for fire sprinkler finance and escrow refund of $60,235. IRS for EFTPS payments for the federal and FICA withholding taxes for pay date 2/2/24, $66,911. MinPair for the employee and city required contribution for that same pay date, $68,917. Total disbursements of $25,000 or greater is $368,282.62. Any questions on any one of these items from the council? Seeing no questions, I'll entertain a motion. Haji?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the disbursements of more than $25,000.
All right, Tracy?
I will second that.
Thank you. Let's do a roll call vote.
Councilmember Onessa Rosen.
Here. Aye.
Mayor Adams.
Aye.
Councilmember Budaszewski.
Aye.
Councilmember Cummings.
Aye.
Councilmember Idebo.
Aye.
Councilmember Camish.
Aye.
Councilmember Kaiser.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right. Next, the council will consider a resolution approving a front setback variance at 6124 Lakeland Avenue, and we have our city planner here. Do we have our city planner here? Is Dan here? Okay, John Sutter is here to address the council on that one.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, council members. So this variance, I think, is a fairly straightforward item for you, so the slideshow will be fairly brief. The property owner basically wants to bump out some different things on the front of the house. The key takeaway to remember on this property is that we wouldn't even be here tonight if the county had not acquired additional right-of-way for County Road 81 in 2012. So, and I'll have a slide that kind of illustrates that for you. So here is a 2022 aerial of the properties. You can see the house is fairly close to Lakeland Avenue, which is the frontage road for County Road 81. It's a very deep lot. It's also a fairly wide lot, although not wide enough to subdivide, but it is certainly an oversized residential lot in the city. So here's the illustration I was alluding to, where the red parallelogram, if I remember my terms correctly, is the additional right-of-way that the county acquired in 2012 so that they could widen the footprint of County Road 81. And so the left-hand side of that parallelogram was the lot line originally, and the right-hand side is the lot line after the taking. And as you can see from the orange dashed measurement line, it's approximately 49 feet from the closest point of the house to the original right-of-way or front lot line. So here is a survey showing the different things that are being going on in this property. I think some of you may be aware that the bright green box at the lower right-hand corner of the house, that is an attached garage addition with a second floor living space above it. That's part incorporated into the existing house. That is currently under construction. So the additional additions would be in the kind of the off-green, olive green area here, and that is what the variance is being requested for tonight. So again, on the right-hand side, that's the garage addition with the living space above. On the left-hand side, this area here plus this cantilever are the areas for which the variance is being sought. Planning Commission did hold the required public hearing last week on the 12th. They unanimously recommended approval, and there was no one from the public testifying at the hearing. So with that reason, we ask you to adopt the resolution approving the variance as recommended by the Planning Commission. I don't see that the applicant is here tonight, but again, no questions really came up at the planning commission meeting.
All right. Thank you, John. Are there any questions for John from the council? Go ahead.
You basically answered this, but I drive by this every day going to work. And it looks like the attached garage they were working on and stopped. And then I was just wondering if they stopped because they had to get the variance, or is that because it's like a separate part of the construction?
It's a good question. It's not part of the variance. Yeah, I think it may just be they had to apply their work and their time to other projects within the house. Yeah.
And then just for my interest, I saw it's from 1936, the original house, which is fairly old for Crystal, so I just thought that was interesting. So.
All right. Any other questions? All right, looking for a motion on this one. Tracy?
I will make a motion to approve, or to adopt the resolution approving variances for the property located at 6124 Lakeland Avenue North.
Looking for a second? David?
I will second that.
All right, let's do a roll call vote.
Mayor Adams.
Aye.
Councilmember Budaszewski.
Aye.
Councilmember Cummings.
Aye.
Councilmember Idebo.
Aye.
Councilmember Camish.
Aye.
Councilmember Kaiser.
Aye.
Councilmember Onessa Rosen.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right, thank you. The council will consider a resolution approving a transfer of funds from the public safety aid to the West Metro Fire Rescue District. We have our police chief here to talk to the council. Chief Revering, welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and council. Thank you for the, when I was walking in, you were doing the moment of silence for the Burnsville officers and paramedic, and we really appreciate that. As you can see by my, I almost said outfit, but uniform tonight, I'm a little more dressed up than usual, and it's not because I don't like dressing up for you folks, but I was at a funeral today for Sergeant Ryan Piper, who was a Minnetonka sergeant, 49 years old, who passed away from cancer. And Friday, I will be at another police officer funeral for retired police chief Jim Crawford from Golden Valley, who is actually the founder of LIMA, which is the association that Brian, Deputy Chief Hubbard, is our president of. So as you can imagine, the world right now for law enforcement is rather meek, but we do wear this uniform and put it on with pride, because as you know, it is a noble profession and we're proud to serve you. So thank you. And now to 6.3. We were lucky enough to receive a little over $1 million from the state of Minnesota for public safety aid. And as you know, we discussed at a quarterly update with you a couple months ago that we were going to share 20% of that, as we discussed with the city of New Hope, and they did as well. So this is a resolution before you asking you to approve the resolution of 20% or $200,000 for the West Metro Fire Rescue District.
All right, any questions for our chief on that? Seeing none, looking for a motion.
You make that motion.
John, thank you.
Make a motion approving a resolution accepting $1,010,119 of the state of Minnesota Public Safety Aid Package and authorizing the transfer of $200,000 to the West Metro Fire Rescue District.
Thank you, John. Looking for a second. Tracy?
I will second that.
All right. Let's go do a roll call vote again, please.
Councilmember Budaszewski.
Aye.
Councilmember Cummings.
Aye.
Councilmember Idebo.
Aye.
Councilmember Camish.
Aye.
Councilmember Kaiser.
Aye.
Councilmember Onessa Rosen.
Aye.
Mayor Adams.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right, thank you. Next, we'll have our chief carry on with the joint powers agreement that we're having with the State of Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension. Could you cover that for us, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. As you are aware, last week we discussed at the work session our partnership with the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension and their I'm going to make sure I get this right, their Violent Crime Reduction Unit, which has a new unit within the state, and it'll be 10 cities, 5 from the West Metro and 5 from the East Metro, that will partner with the State of Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension for this unit. We are lucky enough that they chose our city to partner with, and it's because of the great collaboration of our officers, which I'm very proud of. So what is before you tonight is the joint powers agreement that I ask you to approve, along with a resolution. As we discussed last week, the State of Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension will be paying for the entire salary, including overtime, of this officer. And so we are asking with the resolution that you authorize our strength from 34 to 35 officers. That will not affect our budget.
All right, are there any questions for the chief? Yeah, go ahead, Tracy.
When would this start?
Great question. So some cities have already started the process already. We most likely won't get somebody on board until June or so, based on the fact that we have 2 right now that are in field training, and we just want to make sure that our staffing is okay before we send somebody over there.
All right. Any other questions? Looking for a motion? Therese?
I'll make a motion approving the authorized strength of police officers from 34 to 35.
All right, Tracy?
I will second that.
All right. Roll call vote on that one?
Can I?
It's okay.
Okay.
It's really gonna be okay.
All right. It's going to be okay.
Go ahead.
Councilmember Cummings.
Aye.
Councilmember Eidbo.
Aye.
Councilmember Kamish.
Aye.
Councilmember Kaiser.
Aye.
Councilmember Onessa Rosen.
Aye.
Mayor Adams.
Aye.
Councilmember Budaszewski.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right, thank you. And for the other one, looking for another motion? Go ahead, Tracy.
I will make a motion to approve the Minnesota BCA Violent Crime Reduction Unit, JPA.
All right, looking for a second. Taji?
I'll second that.
All right, roll call vote again.
Councilmember Eidbo.
Aye.
Councilmember Kamish.
Aye.
Councilmember Kaiser.
Aye.
Councilmember Onessa Rosen.
Aye.
Mayor Adams.
Aye.
Councilmember Budaszewski.
Aye.
Councilmember Cummings.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, chief. Next, the council will consider a resolution for LED lighting upgrades. And that's for City Hall. Adam Bell, what are you?
Tonight, the city manager.
City manager.
This item kind of came up in the last couple months. Originally, the LED lighting was being postponed or put off, all the replacements in City Hall for when the police department construction was done. During the long-term planning, we had talked about possibly moving it into 2025. It had been pushed off for several years already. Since the council adopted the long-term plan, staff has been looking at it, and we did obtain some quotes. And there are several rebates that are available this year that we may not be able to get them next year. So while it is not formally part of the 2024 long-term plan, it wasn't on the list that the council had looked at earlier. Originally it was, and then it got moved. Now staff's asking to do it in 2024. Part of that is one for the rebates that are available, but also we do have 2 different sets here in City Hall of types of lights, and to replace them, we have to have bulbs and ballasts for both of them, and so it's not just taking more space, but it's buying different types of products. Some of them are outdated that we're obviously planning on replacing. And so instead of doing it piecemeal, we'd like to do it just all at once. Some of the lights that we do have that we are looking at needing to replace sooner than later, they're also very energy inefficient, even more so than just normal fluorescent. So that's, it is being moved back up to 2024. And the quote that we got, the low quote from UHL was for the $74,220. That there are additional rebates available that we're going to be pursuing as well, but there's one specifically from Excel for the $4,300. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions. Yes.
I'm assuming it's all the lights in the building, is that it?
It's all the lights in the City Hall side
Yeah.
that haven't already been replaced. There were some that were replaced as part of the City Hall refresh. I think that's what staff has called it. It does not include the council chambers. Those are being looked at for 2025 when the audio and video is also being looked at. We're actually going to get a light technician to come in and figure out what we can do to, we need to be able to broadcast it, so it needs to be bright, but the lighting here does need to be addressed. So, but all the other lights that have not been already replaced.
Got it.
Go ahead, Tracy.
Do we have funds available for this, or will we just like flip-flop another project?
We do have funds in the building fund
Okay.
available for this.
All right. Anybody else? Looking for a motion on this item. David?
I'll make a motion authorizing the contract for LED lighting upgrades at City Hall.
All right, thank you. Looking for a second, Tracy?
I will second that.
All right, roll call vote.
Councilmember Camish?
Aye.
Councilmember Kaiser?
Aye.
Councilmember Onessa Rosen?
Aye.
Mayor Adams?
Aye.
Councilmember Budashevsky?
Aye.
Councilmember Cummings?
Aye.
Councilmember Eidbo?
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right, thank you. Next, the council will consider a resolution for improvements at City Cove Aquatic Center. Our Recreation Director, John Elmholm, is here to address the council. Welcome, John.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members. I'm here tonight to request permission to advertise for bids and get the Crystal Cove Aquatic Center under construction. Just a reminder, the recent project timeline on this is we did hire an architect and engineers to develop plans for the aquatic center. And we came back here in October last year with plans for the pool. We also went to the Park and Recreation Commission. Last December, we determined to close the aquatic center for construction during the 2024 season. And then in January, we hired Kraus Anderson to assist with putting the bid packet together. The project is the same as we've been talking about since last October. All the features that we had kind of talked about then are the same ones as now. Similar shape, bringing some areas a bit shallower, making actually the deep end a tad deeper. Retain the water walk, retain 6 lap lanes, move the drop slide. And then for the pool itself is just make sure we're creating space to add these amenities if we can make sure there's room in the budget to add the actual amenities. And then those amenities are not actually part of this bid. The bid is actually just to build the new pool container. So the next steps in the process are to put out a bid. The anticipated timeline here is to put ads in the paper on March 7th and March 14th. Bid opening on March 26th with the goal of bringing back an award of contract on April 2nd. Construction would then start in June and be substantially completed by October. And then just a note, the Aquatic Center building, the way it is we're able to get quotes for that instead of doing the formal bid process on that. So the plan is to just do the quotes for that. So with that, the request is to approve the attached resolution approving plans and specs for improvements at the Crystal Cove Aquatic Center pool, and then authorize the advertisement of bids for construction of said improvements at the Aquatic Center.
All right, thank you, John. Questions for John? Go ahead, Tracy.
Are we pretty certain that construction will start in June? Is that a pretty firm, do we think, likelihood?
Yeah, so the biggest lead time and the reason we're really shooting to be here approving a contractor in early April. There's a long lead time for gutters is the main thing. And so you don't start taking the old pool out until you are able to start putting things back in. So June is the anticipated start date on that.
But it will be complete by the fall?
That
It
is
can be in-
that is the plan.
Okay.
Yes.
It will be open for 25.
Yeah,
Yes.
it will not be open to the public this year.
I understand that, but hopefully it will be open to the public in '25.
Correct.
Okay. That was-
All right. Looking for a motion on this item. Tashi.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the plans and specifications and advertisement for bids for improvements at the Crystal Cove Aquatic Center.
All right, thank you. Tracy.
I will second that.
All All right, let's do roll call vote.
Councilmember Kaiser.
Aye.
Councilmember Onessa Rosen.
Aye.
Mayor Adams.
Aye.
Councilmember Budaszewski.
Aye.
Councilmember Cummings.
Aye.
Councilmember Idebo.
Aye.
Councilmember Camish.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you, John. All right, the Metro Transit in Hennepin County will be holding a community open house to show the latest plans for the Blue Line extension on Thursday, March 7th, from 5 to 8 p.m., and that's at the Crystal Community Center. The community IFTA dinner is Thursday, March 14th at 5:45 at Crystal Community Center. The next city council work session is Thursday, March 14th at 7 p.m. in the Crystal Chambers at City Hall and via Zoom. There's no city council meeting on Tuesday, March 5th due to the presidential nomination primary election. Therefore, our next council meeting is Tuesday, March 19th, 7 p.m. here at Crystal Chambers and on Zoom. Crystal Police Department open house is Saturday, April 27th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. and that's here, 4141 Douglas Drive. City council meetings and work sessions are open to the public. Current and previous meetings are available for viewing and listening at crystalmn.gov. There's something else available on crystalmn.gov relating to history. Therese, do you want to let people know what that might be?
I think everyone in the room is already aware. We
Well-
all saw it.
TV.
Well, we're on TV.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor. CCX Media has put together a video of Crystal's history, our town's history, Crystal. It will be available on the city's website, the CCX website. You can contact me if you'd want it delivered another way, a DVD or a flash drive. We can work with people. Anyway, it was just completed last week, and it's pretty exciting. So we'd like everyone to see it. It's all free.
Yeah, thanks goes out to CCX for working with us on
Oh,
that.
yeah, just big
And-
thanks to
yeah.
Dave Kaiser was the brainchild behind this, and the
And
instigator.
it came out of the Community Outreach Task Force, which was in place for a while in Crystal. And there's a couple things that the Community Outreach Task Force is known for. One is our flag, one is the Historical Society. Another is a community-run ordinance review and rewrite that was done through that group. And then the Crystal Ball was also born out of that group as well. So some really good things came out of that. And that's it's fun to see this continue and see it continue to be flourishing. So thanks for your work on this. I know you spent a lot of time doing it as well, so thank you, Therese. And all the members of the Historical Society as well. Does anybody have anything else for announcements? Seeing none. John's got something to say.
We can make a motion to adjourn.
All right, thank you. Go ahead, Tracy.
I will second that.
All right, let's do roll call vote.
Councilmember Onessa Rosen.
Aye.
Mayor Adams.
Aye.
Councilmember Budaszewski.
Aye.
Councilmember Cummings.
Aye.
Councilmember Idebo.
Aye.
Councilmember Camish.
Aye.
Councilmember Kaiser.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right, we're adjourned. Next is EDA, and then we'll come back to the work session after that.